Hi, my name is Jacqueline Elisabeth, and I will be playing the Emperor.
Hi, I'm Nayia Cornér, and I'll be playing the assassin.
Hi, I'm Steve Anderson, playing the advisor.
Hello, my name is Nayia Anastasiadou. I'll be playing the consort.
Hi, I'm Brett Jordan, and I'll be playing the sister.
Hi, I'm Lynsey Beauchamp. I'm playing the guard captain, the Imperial escort, the mother, and Countess Imelda.
Hello, I'm David Lee Hawks. I'll be playing Soldier 1, Blythe, and the Jailer Guard.
Hello, I'm Joseph Krygier. I'll be playing Soldier 2, Father, and Viscount de Green.
So, this is the assassin. I'm told it took 12 men to subdue you. Perhaps I need better soldiers. And where are these heroes of the realm?
6 are dead, Your Majesty. 4 are in the infirmary, and the 2 who are still able to stand are here.
Indeed. He doesn't look like much.
It was like nothing you've ever seen, Your Majesty. It was as if he was possessed by the wind itself.
I don't recall asking you to speak, did I? And then, when I do ask a question, he remains silent. His tongue is clearly beyond control. Have it removed and brought to the kitchens. Our prisoner have no doubt will be hungry after his capture. Waste not, want not.
Please, my lord, please, I beg your forgiveness. Please, I meant nothing by it. Please, no, no, my lord, please, no.
Confirmation of a decision well made. Out of control indeed. Name.
Judges, Your Majesty.
Rank.
None, sire.
Indeed. You seem remarkably unscathed from your encounter. Explain.
I didn't think. That is, when I saw the way he fought, I didn't think we could beat him. But I remembered seeing a good-sized rock, and I ran and got it. Now, when I got back, there was only Danners and Blythe left fighting him. He ran Danners through, was focused on Blythe. So I snuck up behind him, and Your Majesty.
You ran away.
No, Your Majesty,
Did you, or did you not, see your comrades fighting a dangerous foe and choose to leave the battle?
I did, sire.
And rather than face a man bravely as a warrior, You hit him from behind, like a common cutpurse. Yes or no, Mr. Hodges?
Yes, Your Majesty.
I see.
Take him to the dungeons out by way of the infirmary. We want to know his state of health before you begin the interrogations.
Mr. Hodges, this assassin hardly seems capable of holding a blade, much less defeating an entire troop of soldiers. How do you explain this?
Well, Your Majesty, I suppose if you're an assassin, you do your best not to look dangerous.
Indeed. Promote him.
And the assassin?
I want to know everything. What's his name? Where did he come from? What motivates him? Who prepared him? Who sent him?
Do you think he could be from the north?
Oh, not likely. Probably from the Isles. It's the only place remote enough. We'd have gotten wind of this sooner otherwise. You can't keep that kind of training a secret. And Maxwell?
Yes?
Once you find a name, assume it's false and keep digging. There will be layers under layers with that one. Steel beneath cotton, diamond under the steel.
Indeed.
In the meantime, put him in our nicest cell. We'll change his accommodations regularly, each time to something a little less comfortable. Let him wonder how bad things can get, and vary the prisoners in the neighboring cells. Women, children, elderly, find out where his sympathies lie.
You intend to break him.
Break him? No, I intend to take him apart, carefully, piece by piece. Instruct the torture master that he is not to be permanently damaged. When all's done, I will have a new weapon in my arsenal. Aren't you looking well? This new life clearly agrees with you. I'm told that you don't even scream during torture. That's very determined of you. Impressive. You didn't think you're the only one, did you? although the torture master assures me that you are his favorite. Normally, he gets bored after a few sessions, but you've intrigued him, inspired him even to greater creativity. But I hardly need to tell you that, do I? Well done. Oh, well done indeed. One would almost believe that you don't care, unless they saw you writhing to the sounds of a woman's scream all through the night. Oh, yes, that's right. You know what's funny? She didn't even do anything wrong. We just thought she had the right kind of scream. None of them did, you know. The husband, the children, just an unfortunate family in the wrong place at the wrong time. Oh, that didn't sound good at all, did it? Well, I suppose we are going to have to arrest someone else now. I see you're enjoying the stew. Quite a difficult choice, I imagine. Starve and risk being too weak to take advantage if an opportunity presents itself, or eat and prolong the situation. Well, it sounds like there should be more stew ready in a few hours.
You sick bastard!
Oh, well done! Oh, you are a prize. You know, no one has ever held out this long before, not even by half.
I'm going to kill you.
By I, you mean we, and no, you're not. But keep those spirits up. There's a good fellow.
You blood-sucking son of a whore!
You think me that stupid that I would kill you over an insult? At last, you disappoint me. How would you like to play a game? Here's how it works. You tell me your name, and I give you the rest. Now you're thinking, what have I got to lose? I've already given up on the cold silence, and I can give him any name that I like. But
not.
If the name you give me doesn't match one of the two that we've narrowed it down to, well, you'll get to hear 3 women screaming in agony while you don't sleep.
I'll pass.
Unfortunately, that doesn't match either name. But I'll give you another try since I hadn't kept my end of the bargain yet. Here.
You really are one evil bastard.
Name.
How can you look yourself in the mirror?
Name!
Gerard.
A pleasure to meet you, Gerard, son of Marith and Darren. Oh, yes, we know.
Is there not a single redeeming thing about you?
You think to change the subject with insults, you think that you are untouchable because your parents are already dead. But I know what you're like. The affections you build for those who have been part of your life.
We are all prepared to die.
Well, you're prepared to die. The others were prepared to die. Yes, I did think about holding the promise of their lives over you for leverage, but you and I, we need to be honest with each other in all things. See? Isn't it better this way? I tell you the truth, and you're free to let your feelings show. And as a reward, I'll tell you this. They died well, fierce and capable. In fact, had we not known how skilled they were from the way you fought, we might have gone with too few troops to emerge victorious. So I suppose when you consider it, I owe you my thanks.
You're in league with the devil.
Interesting. Now, what makes you say something like that?
There is no other way that God would permit a creature like you to exist.
Do you really think God gives a damn about who does what and how? How quaint! You know, if I had thought you were a religious man, this would have gone differently. But you're not, are you?
God does not need me to defend him.
I'm not sure you even believe in God. An assassin of the Lord? Not your style.
It'll just have to remain a mystery to you.
Oh, but it's no mystery to me at all. You see, there are only a handful of options, and they all lead to the same conclusion. If there is no God, then we are on our own. Or perhaps there is a God, and he simply doesn't care, in which case we are, again, on our own. Or maybe he really does care. He sits in a high throne, racked with guilt and anguish over the cruelties that permeate the world. Yet he does nothing. Omnipotent? I think not. Impotent. And still we arrive at the same conclusion. We are on our own.
I wouldn't expect a scion of evil like you to understand.
Oh, dear. You mean, you think I might be an awful person? Oh no! Perhaps I should truly reconsider my life. You disappoint me a second time, Gerard of Morasia. I thought you an intelligent man, a worthy adversary, and a worthy ally. Perhaps I should have you killed. I have no use for stupidity.
Do it!
Waste not, want not.
You should kill me. If not, I'll destroy you.
Really? Will you?
Can't think of a better way to die.
You're right there. You will die. We all die. But first, you will serve me.
If you think I would ever help you in the slightest way!
David! If I want you to help me, you'll help me. Poor information leads to poor decisions, and I control everything you know. But I don't need another pawn. I don't want another pawn. I want a general.
It'll be a cold day in hell before I join you.
Again with the religion, hell, heaven, God, devil. If all it takes is a cold day in hell, that's fine by me. Winter's not that far away, and I'm a patient man.
You think forging a hell in this world justifies your acts? Let me be the one to break it to you. It doesn't work that way.
You're right. It doesn't work that way. You think me the devil. You see me as an agent of evil. Open your eyes, assassin. I'm a man, much like you. You want to see the wellspring of evil? Well, look inside, or on the streets at your fellow man, or in a church. This world begets evil. Your God who created it, who created us in his likeness, there's your source of evil. You don't believe me? No, you think the emperor, he's the one to blame. He hurts people, he sucks away the goodness in life. You sit there in your cell and lament how you've been wronged, how everyone's been wronged. You feel superior and enlightened. But what you fail to recognize is that I have given you that.
You are a sick, delusional viper.
And you are a meek, deluded lamb, holding onto a comfortable fantasy because it makes you happy, not caring in the slightest that it's just a dream. I rule, and in doing so, I delineate the grays. Do you know how many people die each month now compared to a decade ago? I have replaced squabbling with purpose. People need constraints, and I provide them.
You provide fear!
Yes! Yes! At last we agree! But what is fear if not a man's cage? Limits, boundaries. People need boundaries. Without them, they'll destroy themselves.
People need hope.
Hope. People have hope. Hope is like a weed. It always returns. You couldn't take it away if you tried. That's what's so nice about it. It grows everywhere. From the fairest Eden to the darkest, most poisonous soil. Look at you. Captive, tortured, rotting away in a dungeon. You could have stopped eating. You could be dead by now, but you endure. Why? Hope. One God, looking the wrong way at the right time. A sliver of metal from the torture chamber that you can conceal just long enough to hurl into my eye. Hope. It flourishes in you. The barest hint that all the pain will be worth it if you can just...
And you seek to destroy it at every turn.
Do I? Is your hope gone?
Every moment in your torture chamber fuels my hope.
Indeed. I know it does.
Do you deny what your soldiers do? Could you be so blind as to think that they inspire hope?
Now, why in the world would I want to let weeds overgrow Eden? One weed in the darkness is quite a different thing than an entire empire overrun with them. Think of my troops as gardeners. The lands must be tended.
Do you really believe this rhetoric? You can't be that stupid.
Neither can you. That's why I intend to show you the truth.
Your truth!
The truth. Plain and simple. Comfort begets misery, Gerard. Hate me for it if you must. But I didn't make it that way. You can blame your almighty God for that. The world is as it is. I am no more a villain than the wolf that kills a deer. Nature's cruel assassin. You should know that by now.
The wolf doesn't kill needlessly!
Neither do I.
Aaron. Aaron?
Mother?
Oh, Aaron?
Mother! You can't be here! It isn't safe, you must...
Look at you. What have we done?
I don't understand. You're gone. How can you be here? Where's father?
I'm here, my boy. Oh, look at how you've grown. You're a man. And a fine one at that.
Do you see what they've done to him? Oh, my little boy.
He's strong, my love.
He's a boy.
He's a man. And he has purpose. That's enough.
Is it though? I don't know anymore, father.
Come, let me wash away the pain. Tell me where it hurts.
It's not the pain. Well, it's not that kind of pain.
What then?
They hurt people. He hurts people. So many people. Hurts them just to hurt me. They slaughtered Gerard's entire village. Not just the men.
They knew the risks. They understood and chose freely. You are the best hope.
Then they have no hope at all. I failed.
You live.
To what end? You don't know what he's like. He sees into you. He finds any weakness and turns it into a gaping wound. That's what he's been doing all these months. The torture is just to distract me as he bleeds out my soul.
We're here for you.
You're dead.
We're here for you.
For now. But for how long? It's like talking to the devil himself. He has an answer for everything, a reason for everything. His words rip away any shred of goodness, and he watches everything. He misses nothing. Every twitch, every blink, every hesitation. How long can this go on before I make a mistake? Before a wrong word slips out? What if he finds out who I am? What if he finds her?
Hello, Aaron.
Deirdre! You can't be here! I can't let you be here!
It's all right to need someone.
Please. I can't. You have no idea what he'll do.
Kill me? Do you think I'm scared of death? Do you think that I'm not willing to sacrifice as you have?
He'll do so much worse than kill you.
You're scared of him. When Mother and Father died, you said it's natural to be scared. Why is it all right for me and not for you?
He's a monster.
You've destroyed monsters before.
Not like him.
You'll destroy him. I know you will.
You don't understand. It's been too long. I doubt I could even hold a sword any longer.
And you'll find a new weapon.
He's unassailable.
Then don't assail him.
Then what do I do?
What you always do.
What's that?
Whatever it takes.
I won't risk you.
If that's what it takes.
Please don't leave me.
You'll find a way, big brother.
I need you safe.
The world isn't safe, Aaron. You taught me that.
Don't leave.
You'll find a way.
I love you.
Rise and shine, pet. It's time for your session. I hear the Torture Master's got some really imaginative stuff for you today. You're gonna love it. Hear that? You're gonna be crying. So he's gonna love it.
You don't seem worried. You should be.
Uprisings, revolts, they are like the swell of the tide. The day they stop, that's when I'll worry.
Most people would say you've got it backwards.
That's why I rule and they serve.
Why do you tell me these things?
Because you have the capacity to understand. Someday you will be my general, and I'd rather you be effective.
You're wrong, but that's not what I meant. Why do you tell me what's happening in the world?
Why wouldn't I? I have an opportunity to gain and nothing to lose.
Suppose I were devising a plan of escape. This might help me identify a moment of opportunity.
I expect you to be constantly devising and revising a plan of escape. You'd be quite the disappointment otherwise. But as far as it providing you the key to your freedom, that's not likely. You and the rest of the world are separable problems now. That's why I enjoy our time together.
I'm separable.
A ruler craves separate problems. Society is an intricate machine, a grand playing board that is carefully balanced on the head of a pin, and every lever pulls on the gears in some unique way. Razor tax here, merchants shift over there. Farmers squabble to fill the gaps, and suddenly your governors start fixing things on their own. Overseeing an empire is like juggling 1,000 balls, with each one tied to 20 others. It's almost enough to drive a man mad. And then fate brings me you, an unexpected gift delivered right to my doorstep, a diamond in a lockbox. Challenge, reward, a self-contained puzzle, independent from everything else.
Maybe it's more than enough to drive a man mad.
Indeed. But not this man.
You'd be the last one to know.
I'd certainly be the last one to care. But you're wrong. I'd be the first one to know. Rest assured, my friend, there is no one I scrutinize more carefully than myself.
It hardly seems possible to watch yourself more closely than you watch me. Unless you've found some clever way to stir up your own ass.
I have servants to do that for me.
So, what are you going to do?
Checkmate you, of course.
I wasn't talking about this.
Neither was I.
The revolt. What will you do about the revolt?
What would you do?
It's not my problem.
You think I'm here for civic advice? Please.
If there is even a shred of possibility that some thought I have might help you, I'd sooner die than share it.
You're a coward.
And you're a fool.
You won't even try to solve the problem out of fear that it might lead you to agree with me on something.
And you think that someday I'll actually agree with you on something?
It's not me you'd be agreeing with. They're not my rules. I didn't create them. I simply understand human nature, and the rest falls into place.
Understand human nature? You're barely human at all. Humans feel. You feel nothing. People care and love and cry. Is there anything you care about? Do you ever lose control over anything?
It bothers you that I value reason over emotion? Interesting. Was it emotion that brought you here? Did you wake up one morning enthralled with a burning fury and storm off to assassinate the evil emperor? Or did you plan it out, step by step? What skills, what resources, what path is most likely to succeed? Check.
So what are you going to do?
I'll let the revolt run its course for another 2 weeks. Early on, my soldiers will incarcerate, punish, and eventually kill some innocent people. That will enrage the populace.
What?
There's no point to a brush fire if it doesn't clear some of the undergrowth.
But that...
You had your chance to speak, and you declined. Once the people are passionate and focused, we'll begin to raid more precisely. True dissidents, the ones who are now emboldened to stand and fight, they will be killed. About 2 months from now, the leaders of the revolt will come forth. They'll talk of how they've been misled.
How could you possibly know this?
It's your move.
You started it.
The leaders will claim that they were not really in charge, merely the rooks and knights of the true masterminds.
And who? The ones incarcerated at the beginning. The innocent people.
So the uprising fades like an ebbing tide that has deposited its dissident flotsam on the shore before retreating to the sea.
The people!
The people return to their homes. They sit around their evening fires and nurse their guilt for wrongfully hating the Empire in those early weeks. "Look what we've done," they'll say. "If we had but known, perhaps the other lives would not have been lost." It's a win all around the henhouse. Guilt makes the chickens docile once more, and they return to laying eggs for the Empire. The foxes, stirred to action, have been identified and eliminated. And the so-called leaders are never seen again. A fine reminder to everyone of what can happen when you stand against the Empire.
It's
Thank you.
a lie. It's all a lie.
Of course it's a lie. What's your point?
The point is that you kill innocent people to further your own ends. You manipulate them, you leave them wallowing in guilt just so you can...
Yeah. See? See what emotions do to your thinking if you let them run amok. Will innocent people die? Yes. But who is feeling guilty? The people who rose up against the Empire. Let's look at little William Wheelwright and Charles Candlemaker. If they joined into a rebellion, should they not feel guilty? And if they didn't, are they not rightly rewarded with the moral high ground over their neighbors?
Innocent people die.
And again I ask, what's your point?
It's not right.
It's not right. Oh, do tell, assassin. What is right? I simply can't help but wonder at your basis of comparison. It's still your move.
It's called compassion. Perhaps you've heard of it. Check.
Compassion, Gerard, is an emotion, not a doctrine of conduct. Does the lion feel compassion for the gazelle? Perhaps, but he still eats it.
It's not the same.
It's exactly the same.
A lion kills to survive. A lion doesn't waste what it kills.
You need to expand your thinking. You imply that I kill needlessly, but that is not true. Is this really all about meat to you? Would it be all fine to you if, rather than letting the families bury their loved ones, I fed the carcasses to my hunting dogs?
What gives you the right to decide who lives and who dies?
I'm the emperor.
That's no answer. Yes, you're the emperor. But I say that means you have an obligation to protect people, not to hurt them.
I do protect people. With a few surgical deaths, I prevent hundreds or thousands more. Some people would say that a purposeful death is the ultimate gift. Is that not your very situation? Did you not come here to trade your life for mine?
Yes, but I made that choice. Do you ask those victims if they are willing to die for your greater cause? Did you give them a choice?
That's so noble. But the world doesn't work like that. Does the lioness ask the gazelle if it's willing to die to feed her cubs? Nature does not recognize sympathy.
Every time it comes to morality, you duck your head under the covers and cry, "It's not my fault, it's not my fault."
I rule, but it's the world that makes the rules. You seek fairness?
Yes.
Then steel yourself for disappointment. Fairness! Ha! Nothing more than a fairy tale that people who cannot comprehend balance.
You know, I think I finally understand.
Do you?
You're no emperor. You're a steward.
You cannot change the nature of this world.
How would you know? You don't even try.
You're a fool.
And you're a coward. It's your move. Do you concede?
You've already lost. It's mate in 3. See if you can figure it out.
I don't suppose you'd be willing to explain? Why I'm suddenly on the invitation list for His Majesty's deliberations. No, wait. Let me guess. You've decided to replace physical torture with boring me to death.
I told him he's overestimating you. He says you have capacity. I don't see it.
And here I thought we were growing so close. No answer then?
He's hoping that by showing you some of the real world, you'll wake up and discard your rose-colored glasses.
Like you did?
Even as a boy, I was never as blind as you.
So you agree with him? With his methods?
I don't just agree with him, I believe in him. I've seen the validity of his methods. I've seen enough of the world to recognize the good that he does.
Good! Good! He murders people like it's nothing. Your own soldiers die at his whim, to say nothing of his citizens.
In my entire life, I have never seen the Emperor do anything on a whim.
The day I arrived, he had a man's tongue cut out for providing information. You think that's not a whim?
Furthest thing from it. A soldier needs to know his place.
The man had just captured me, an assassin come to kill the Emperor. He deserved a reward, not punishment.
That was a reward. Normally, behavior like that will be cause for death.
And you actually think death is a fitting punishment for someone trying to be helpful?
And what loathsome cretin dares to be helpful today?
The assassin disapproves of your methods.
Oh?
Blythe, your majesty.
You don't care for tongue?
Your methods with Blythe, sire.
You'd have killed him? Indeed. Hardly sporting after he helped capture you.
I'd have
The
done...
Emperor knows what you meant.
Do tell, Gerard. What should I have done?
I think a simple reprimand would have sufficed.
Sufficed for what?
As punishment.
And why on earth would I waste my time punishing him?
What?
I admit, that was a long meeting, and your first one at that. But your brain cannot be that addled. The question was simple enough. What would I gain from punishing him?
You tell me. You're the one that had his tongue cut out.
You think I did that to punish him?
I'm told you did that to reward him.
It is always emotions with you. We'll work on that. Look on the facts, my friend. Do you really think he had a future as a soldier?
What? I don't know. Perhaps.
Liar.
I'm not...
I am growing tired of this. If you cannot keep your wits about you after a long, boring day, then you truly are of no use to me. Maxwell here assures me that you are a waste of time. If you prove him right, your immediate future changes dramatically. Now! You faced the man in combat. Don't lie to me and claim you don't know his measure.
No. He didn't have a future as a soldier.
And?
I see no benefit to punishing him.
Is it a bad time? I came to...
You may speak in front of him.
It might be best for you to decide that with full awareness, my lord.
Very well. Maxwell, walk him through it while I speak with Isabella.
Waste not, want not. Do you understand now?
Oh, yes! Thank you for the detailed explanation.
So which is it, yes or no? He's going to ask when he returns.
The man had no future as a soldier. That hardly seems a crime punishable by death.
So what do you expect us to do with him? Keep him employed knowing he is of no value?
Then release him from service.
The man helps capture an assassin, and we respond by kicking him out on the street. What do you think would happen then? Disgruntled, insulted. You think he's just going to wander off, become a happy baker? He has one valuable asset at his disposal. Congratulations, Gerard. You just forged an enemy who knows your operations, and you set him loose and untraceable in the streets.
Fine. Then keep him in the guard.
We did!
I meant keep him in the guard without cutting anything out or off.
Ruling an empire is busy enough with an efficient government. If we retain every piece of useless driftwood, we'd be crushed under our own weight.
Then teach him, train him, give him some value so that he can contribute to the empire.
Which is precisely what the emperor did. He gave him purpose.
I'm sorry, I'm not following.
You really are thick. What would you do? Teach him to read and tell him to go off and become a scribe? Permanently assigned to boot shining? The man is a soldier. To be more precise, he thinks he's a soldier. What kind of job do you give to an inept soldier? You turn him into a spy.
A spy? You cut out his tongue to make him a spy?
Oh, surely you can work this part out. No? Really? Put yourself in his place. How do things look?
I just risked my life to save the Emperor.
Against an extremely dangerous killer that claimed the lives of half a dozen men.
The Emperor responds by having my tongue cut out for seemingly nothing at all.
And you feel?
Angry, furious, resentful, betrayed. I'm angry and betrayed. Damned if I am going to just accept this. I am going to resign and...
Are you really? You, Gerard, might have 100 possible paths to choose from, but you, Blythe, possess one set of skills. One! You already work for the only employer in the Empire that hires them.
Then I'll stay and betray the man who betrayed me.
Indeed, a perfect situation.
Yes, for an otherwise useless, incompetent man, now turned into an irresistible lure for any as of yet unknown agitators.
A man easily monitored at all times, and too stupid to be subtle.
A man who can be sent anywhere we need on a moment's notice, without even requiring us to fabricate an excuse for plausibility.
Waste not, want not.
You cut his tongue out.
Now all of a sudden you think that's worse than killing him.
He did nothing wrong.
And we return to that tired argument. No, Gerard, the world is not fair. Blythe was born an idiot. That's not my fault. I didn't dictate his nature. Why should I bear the responsibility of turning him into a capable person? That was the task of others. His parents while they raised him, perhaps, or himself if they failed.
But you could at least try to help.
Can I? So, you propose instituting lower standards for the incompetent than for the competent? And that sounds fair to you, Gerard? But time is now short, and I would hear your thoughts on the afternoon's discussions.
I hardly think I would have anything of value to add.
Every man sees through a different lens.
Why not then? Let's start with the sweaty, irritating Viscount in the green doublet. Far too nervous to be genuine. I'd say that he deliberately wanted to give a bad impression, perhaps to cast a shadow on the complaints of the miners he was representing. Since failing to achieve their goals costs him practically nothing at all, he's probably being paid off by someone.
Go on.
The next two seemed pretty unremarkable. Then there was the blonde fellow with an indentation on his finger where he clearly wore a ring for years. Don't know what use that is. Who was next? Right. The merchant talking about trade routes. Seemed that he was offering a reasonable arrangement. No, not reasonable.
There are circumstances.
And then the last pair. The stoic gentleman with a cane who either just ate something that disagreed with him or recently discovered that you had an affair with his wife. Very pretty.
What was that?
I was saying she's very pretty. A little lean, perhaps, but...
Explain.
And let me advise you, this is not the moment for humor.
The man was obviously feeling ill at ease. We all saw that? Yes? Right. As for the woman, she clearly had feelings for his imperialness, I assumed it was the result of a tryst of some kind. The thought of someone developing feelings for you on their own is, well, hard to imagine.
Indeed.
Honestly, it's easier to see a woman falling in love with a slop bucket than... What? Why are you staring?
Maxwell, from now on.
I'll see to the arrangements.
And a proper dinner tonight. No tongues. Unless you would... Clearly not.
And what was that all about?
Congratulations! You have just secured a standing invitation to the most tedious set of audiences you can possibly imagine. You'll have to remain manacled, of course.
The safety of His Highness always comes first.
Well, there's always that. But mostly it's to keep you healthy. Can't have you poking yourself in the eye trying to stay awake, can we?
Absolutely not. They were both lying.
But to different ends.
Yes, certainly, but my point is...
We know the point, but it's moot. The Scotsman was telling the truth.
Not a chance.
Why would he lie?
I have no idea. I already conceded that there's no obvious reason for it, but he was lying.
Lying. Sorry, Max.
So, Gerard, Edmund tells me that you're not truly convinced.
Edmund?
It's been 3 years. You've had him attending council for almost a third of that.
Never came up.
Edmund?
Never do anything without a purpose. Remember saying that?
Never came up.
You two are incorrigible.
Oh, if you can't have a little fun.
This one, Max, afraid of rats, hates them. Always has. And this one, Edmund, he has a soft spot for... You'll never guess.
Well, I can't imagine him having a soft spot anywhere. I always assumed that as an infant, his head was made of granite.
That's probably true. But no, he does have one. And I'll give you a clue.
You'll never guess.
It's a type of animal.
You'll never guess.
Birds.
Good heavens, no. He hates birds.
He hates the imperial coat of arms is covered with birds.
Doesn't mean he likes them.
Yes, typically it does. Right. It's the emperor. Negant statera. Keep them off balance.
Indeed. But in this instance, it's merely a fortunate coincidence. The language of heraldry was foolishly set without first consulting me.
I'm sure heads rolled.
Well, we were a few hundred years late for that.
We could have the bodies exhumed. Justice at last against those disrespectful barbarians.
So, if you hate birds, why the eagle, hawk, and owl?
The eagle symbolizes a man of action, swift, insightful, decisive in the face of ambiguity. The hawk, purposeful and relentless.
And the owl carrying the snake?
Wisdom through vigilance and wit.
All right. Since I can't imagine it being a snake, I give up. What animal is so fortunate as to carry the favor of our mighty emperor?
You won't believe it.
I'm sure I won't.
Lambs.
No. No.
Oh, yes. Little baby sheep. Absolutely adores them.
There isn't a single image of a lamb in the entire palace.
No, there are. Several, actually, if you know to look for them.
Needless to say, hardly a contender for a station on the coat of arms.
Now I'm curious. What is the official meaning of a lamb, according to those thoughtlessly dead barbarians?
Gentleness.
And tolerance.
It's like your whole existence is an assault on the very concept. How in the world did you develop a predilection for lambs?
It's from childhood. Before his parents were killed, he and his brother used to...
You have a brother?
And parents, dead ones.
You didn't seriously think I was spawned from brimstone, did you?
And is your brother still alive?
Last I checked, Max, you would perhaps know better than I. Is my brother still among the living?
Apparently.
You bloody bastards! How could you not have mentioned that?
How could you miss it?
Any other little surprises in store over dinner? Opportunities to choke on dessert, perhaps? Your grandmother? Your sister?
Don't be disgusting, Gerard. Anyway, as I was saying, Edmund's parents used to take him and Max for trips out of the city to a small cattle farm. It was your uncle's, right? The boys would run around in the fields while the parents sat inside and talked. Well, one night, a lone wolf emerged from the woods looking for a little mutton. The herd ran, of course, but there was one ewe that had just given birth that very day to 3 little lambs.
2 lambs, and they were birthed the day before.
Whatever. The wolf was coming for the lambs, and it was obvious that they would be killed. Edmund cried out, "Not on my watch," and charged the wolf. He grabbed hold of it by the tail and yanked on it so hard that the beast fled.
That's not what happened at all. Did you tell her that? He didn't cry out some battle charge. He threw rocks at the damn thing and it ran off.
It doesn't matter. He was a skilled and noble warrior.
He missed. He threw 3 rocks and missed every time.
He saved the lambs.
Yes, he saved the lambs. Hero of the day.
And that's why you like lambs. You know, I never would have imagined you as the sentimental. That's not the end of the story, is it?
No. The wolf returned that night while we were all asleep and made off with the lamb.
I didn't know that part. I always wonder why you hid a lamb mosaic in the audience chamber.
I think you should put a lamb on the coat of arms. It's a touching story.
We'll give that all the consideration it's due. Isabella, my dear, I believe you were asking a question before we got sidetracked with heraldry and livestock.
So I was. Gerard, Edmund tells me that you're not truly convinced.
I'm uncertain about a lot of things.
And there are many things of which you are very certain.
Yes.
If I had to guess, there's something very important to you that finds itself in both categories. Balanced on the edge of a knife. And you're worried that it is going to be irrevocably sliced apart.
You're sure you're not actually related?
Humor has its time and place, brother. But this isn't it.
Brother?
Do you really think we're not? Family's not always born under the same parents. I know a king when I see one. Do you?
Is
it such a terrible thing to be part of a family? Do you think you could ever abandon your isolation for something greater? What is it that stands at risk that you fear will be destroyed?
It's personal.
If I may, it's not personal. It's reality.
What do you mean?
What stands at risk for you, Gerard, is the nature of things. All things. On one side of the fence, there is your head. Observation, facts, conclusions. On the other side, there is your heart, telling you what is right and wrong, what is good, what is evil, and sitting on that fence, that razor-sharp fence, is the entirety of the world.
You need to unite them, Gerard. Under tension, that knife will rip your world apart.
And if I can't?
You'll find a way, brother.
What?
Your world will forever be at risk until you find a way to make head and heart work together.
I'm not sure there is.
You'll find a way.
I guess time will tell.
What do you mean?
That I'll keep searching for that way. Maybe one day we'll all walk out of the council chambers of a single mind.
I don't think it works that way. A man can only grow so much from listening. Your opinions will change very little from repeating yesterday in tomorrow. Oh, you should give him a kingdom to rule.
What?
Let him try. Let him learn from mistakes. Let him explore possibilities. He can't appreciate how the grains fall until he tries building a sandcastle or two on his own. And who knows? Maybe he really can make his vision work. Maybe he'll discover something new.
My dear Isabella, I couldn't agree more. He's been ready for such a challenge for months, but unfortunately, I don't think it's possible.
Why not? There are plenty of small kingdoms that would be perfectly suitable and that could stand for some improvement. Gerard, would you do it?
It's not the kingdom. You're right. There are plenty, and I'd give him a stable one to start. One challenge at a time, after all. No, the problem, my dear, is that no matter how finely dressed, you cannot rule in chains.
So remove the chains.
That is the one piece of the puzzle that I have not solved. How do you remove the chains? How can you ever fully trust a man who came to kill you?
Would you do it, Gerard?
Kill him? Or rule a kingdom?
Would you forgo the first if you could show him a better way through the second?
Yes. Yes, I would. But Edmund's right. How could he ever know that with enough certainty to let...
What will it take, Edmund?
There's nothing. I've worried this bone to the marrow. There's simply no way to be certain, and the risk is too high.
There has to be.
Some problems, my dear, don't have a solution.
Gerard.
Aaron. My name. It's Aaron.
Indeed.
Well, that's it. No, have a good day at work, or make sure you...
Don't do anything stupid.
Thanks.
There's no bonus for getting the timing right. Just go through the door.
You're really going to let me do this on my own? I see. Not entirely on my own, then.
How do you mean?
You'll be watching.
The entire world will be watching.
And if I make a mess of things?
Then the entire world will see it. That's what makes it fun.
What a relief. And here I thought it would be stressful.
Take comfort. If you do indeed make a mess of things, well, lots of people will die.
Max? That was supposed to be a surprise.
You are both truly awful human beings. You know that, right?
I believe you may have pointed it out a time or two.
You know,
Negant statera, Aaron. Negant statera.
Honestly, I'm more worried about pushing myself off balance than any of them.
When all else fails, look to the lamb.
That lamb means something different to me than it does to you.
Today, yes. Tomorrow, well, we shall see, won't we? Remember to breathe. You'd be surprised how easy that is to forget.
Knock 'em dead, assassin. He's going to make quite the mess.
Then he'll clean it up.
And if he can't?
Then we'll clean it up. But I don't see it coming to that.
How long do you intend to let this experiment run?
To its conclusion. There is no need to rush. A few months, a few years, what does it matter? He'll understand when he's ready to understand.
We could help things along.
He's compassionate, not a fool. The world will teach him its lessons, and when it does, there will be no doubt left in his mind. Isabella, everything has been arranged?
Of course.
Months of watching the boy play at being king. Wonderful. And in the meantime, what are we supposed to do with her?
Invite her to dinner, of course.
Delightful.
Max, why do you persist? You know that it irritates him.
What are you suggesting? I pretend to like him. You think I could fool Edmund?
You could try actually liking him.
I don't dislike him, you know.
Apparently you can't fool me.
Look, Belle, he's solid, I grant that. Smart, observant, discerning, all the right skills.
But
when the lamb becomes an assassin, it doesn't stop being a lamb.
he's no lamb.
There, you're wrong. He may be hardened, he may be armed with the tools of war, but his core is compassion. Edmund argues it will be tempered.
You think it will be intensified?
Maybe. Or perhaps it will simply endure. Or be extinguished, and the man with it. But tempered.
Even so, what does it matter? Is the Empire suffering as a result? Is Edmund? Even if he's wrong, there's no harm done.
I suppose, but I just can't shake this feeling that this won't end well.
What won't? Oh, that. So you've said. But think of the benefits if it does. Max, you're the one with the most to gain.
Then why do I feel like the one with the most to lose?
I can't answer that any better today than I could before. I only know that gemstones of that chroma are not easy to find. So when they get dropped in your lap, you facet them as best you can.
So, where is our little chunk of pyrite? It's been a long day. I'd rather eat before we start the next one.
You know how hard it is to keep to a schedule, especially when you're new at it. He should be here soon.
Is she ready?
Of course not.
And they say that I'm the cruel one.
It's not cruelty. To the contrary.
Indeed. Ah, and there he is.
Sorry to keep you all waiting.
It's your wait.
Ignore him. How was your first day as the new king?
Numbing, honestly.
And is the world finally right and good and fair all over?
Well, not all over, I'd say, but I definitely...
No, try as I might, I can't wait. Sit. Sit. No. There. No, wait. You should stand. Yes.
We're getting very close to tomorrow.
Close your eyes. No, open. They should be open.
I'd like to eat before the pheasant decomposes.
No, wait.
Just open the damn door already.
Turn and face that way.
I'm opening it.
Yes, perfect. Are you ready?
Ready for what?
Okay.
Oh, for God's sake. Am I the only one who can hear the gravy hardening? Oh, well done, very touching. Now, can we eat?
Oh, hush, Max. Your Highness, would you throw him an apple to tide him over?
No, I'll get it myself. Him throw me an apple. It'd be faster to grow one from scratch.
Why was I brought here? If you're not it's... Are you...
It's complicated.
I imagine. Are you... have you...
Yes and no.
What does that mean?
It means yes, I've changed my mind about killing the Emperor. But no, I haven't given up on making things better. It's like you said, I found...
What did you find? What did I say?
Nothing. I found a way that you can be safe without living a lie. Here, with me.
But you didn't know I was here. I saw you. You were just as surprised as I. More!
I was, but I understand why you're here and I couldn't be happier.
Then perchance you can explain it to me.
You, Deirdre, you are the unbreakable chains that I'd gladly wear and the unfaltering motivation that I would never abandon.
I don't understand a word of that, Aaron.
He knows who I am.
Am I a prisoner then?
Only if you would leave me.
And if I wouldn't?
Then you are an honoured guest.
A guest?
Do you remember how Father used to call you his little princess? Well, have I got a story to tell you?
Come in. Bad day?
No,
Then what?
I just needed to talk.
Always glad to do that. Sit. Tell me what's on your mind.
What am I doing?
You're showing compassion to people who have only known hardship and fear.
To what end?
You're making a difference.
Am I? Am I really? I look at that stupid lamb mosaic every day. Sometimes I get lost in it, to the point that I don't even hear what the people are saying. I have to make them repeat themselves. I stare at it and think, how am I going to find tolerance and understanding for this imbecile? I swear! They bicker about everything! Baron Hastings has 10 farms, almost 2,000 head of cattle. Last week, the man came to me to complain how he needs more land. Today, he shows up in my chamber again in practically uncontrolled outrage because he thinks Baron Chadwick's farmer stole a calf. 1 calf out of 2,000. 2,000 that he claims he doesn't have sufficient land to support anyway. Does he think I'm an idiot? That I can't remember what happened a week ago or see the absurdity of the situation?
So what did you do?
I told him to let Chadwick have it, but that he could count it as part of his annual impost to the crown.
And did it solve the problem?
It was a poor decision. It solved today's problem, but...
But what?
Don't you see what I did? I just rewarded a man for being petty. I paid him off out of the royal treasury. Tomorrow, I'll have 10 people coming in to complain how a neighbour stole a bale of hay or a competitor is selling a wicker basket on what's clearly their street corner.
Well, what would the Emperor have done?
He would have taken the calf for himself.
See? You're making a difference. Understanding where they would otherwise have faced selfishness and greed.
It's not that black and white. Technically, as emperor, they're his cattle anyway. The barons simply manage the crown's lands.
But you've shown them.
I showed them that there's no reason to solve their own problems. I should have taken the calf.
No.
Yes. Perhaps then they would have realized that they were behaving like children.
But it did belong to one of them.
But we don't know who. And it would take more resources to figure out than the damn calf is worth in the first place.
Then why didn't you do it?
Because in the end, it's not the barons that suffer. It's the farmers. At least this way, one of them got the calf. If I had taken it, then... Damn.
What?
I should have told Hastings to ensure the decreased impost was passed on to that specific farmer. Now he's...
What are you writing?
A reminder to have the bookkeepers watch for this in Hastings' records. If he pockets the profits for himself, then I'll make him give them back to the farmer.
You can do that?
Of course. I'm the king.
Assuming the records are even accurate, and why on earth would he do that? What do you think that will achieve?
What have I missed?
Suppose you do force the baron to return goods or monies to the poor, mistreated farmer. What happens next?
Damn.
What? What happens next?
The baron's been thwarted and he's angry.
And he can't be angry at Aaron. He's the king.
So he shifts the blame to the only remaining target.
The farmer? But it wasn't the farmer's fault.
Right, it wasn't. But that is precisely what would happen. So what would you have done?
No, sane man would dare come to me with such a trivial problem. And since I won't tolerate a government run by madmen, I would have had Hastings killed and replaced him with someone with a better head on his shoulders.
You evil monster! You don't want to go there. Trust me. You don't have to be smug about it. I meant, what would you do if you were me?
I suppose I would have just taken the calf. And if I thought they were too stupid to understand on their own, I'd increase their taxes that year and explain that it was to compensate me for my time in solving their problems.
If you're going to do that, why not just raise the taxes and let them figure out what to do about the calf?
If they could have figured it out on their own, they wouldn't have brought the problem to me.
Maybe bringing it to you was just the easiest thing to do.
The next easiest thing would be for them to just kill the calf and split the veal, then neither farmer gets it.
So you tell them that they have to come back to you with a solution that's fair to the farmers. And the longer it takes, the more you're going to raise their taxes. That way everyone knows that you're all about fairness, and that if the barons aren't going to be willing, contributing parts of a fair solution, then it's going to cost them. And best of all, there's no work for you. This is really nice. Is it a new blend?
An old one, actually. Edmund received several chests of it as tribute many years ago. We used to drink it all the time.
How long have you... Oh, I'm sorry, that's not a proper question.
It's all right.
How long have you been been together? What?
I said it was all right to ask. I didn't say I would answer.
I don't think I'll ever acclimate to this climate. Not the weather.
I knew what you meant.
Yes, I'm sorry, of course you did.
But hopefully you're not too uncomfortable.
Oh no, my quarters are so big that You didn't mean that, did you?
Maybe you aren't as unacclimatable as you fear.
Is that truly a word?
Do you want it to be? I'm certain we could have it made official.
Are you? You know, it's very hard to tell when you're joking if you don't smile.
Better?
No, not really.
But I do hope that you aren't feeling too lost.
Well, perhaps a little. These times together help. There aren't too many others around to talk with. Aaron's a dear, of course, but it seems he is always so busy these days. The Emperor, Edmund, has him running about all the time, it seems.
Edmund trusts very few people, so those he does tend to be very busy.
Like Maxwell.
For one, poor Max. For years, Edmund had him running about so much that I wondered if he ever slept. It's better now that we have Aaron.
I don't get the sense that Maxwell sees it that way. I don't think he cares for Aaron very much. Me, for that matter.
Max can be difficult to read. He's very devoted to Edmund and the Empire, and doesn't care greatly for change.
You mean he actually might like us more than he lets on?
Maybe, but I doubt it.
Oh. It doesn't make sense if Aaron's presence lightens his workload.
I'm not sure that's how Max sees it.
Ah, I see.
Don't worry. I'm sure he'll come around in time. It's just a matter of getting used to a new way of things.
Things certainly seem to be changing quite a bit lately.
As a result of you, from what I understand. At least in part.
Me?
Edmund told me that his new governance construct was inspired by something you said.
Truly?
So he says. And Edmund is not one to offer idle and insincere praise.
I'm flattered.
I thought you were going to say something else.
I was. How do you do that? Have you always?
I suppose it's a combination of natural talent and years of watching Edmund.
Yes, he's amazing when it comes to that. Sometimes I find myself wondering if there isn't some kind of witchcraft involved.
No witchcraft. Just a very sharp, shrewd intellect.
Aaron has come to have a profound respect for him.
You told you that?
No, he'd never say anything like that, but I know my brother.
He's a good man and a good friend.
I think he feels the same way about you, the friend part. You knew that. It's surprising.
What is?
How he has made friends with you and Edmund.
Why is that surprising?
Oh, I didn't mean it that way. It's not you. It's just that Aaron has never really made friends easily. Or at all, really.
I find that hard to believe. He clearly cares about people very deeply.
He does, very deeply. But he always ends up being more of a protector than a friend. I think because he doesn't open up to people. And he's so hard to read that people don't end up feeling close to him.
Maybe that's why, then.
What do you mean?
Perhaps he needed someone who could see him for who and what he was. Someone who could see through the mask.
Oh, he's not disingenuous.
I didn't mean it that way. I was only suggesting that perhaps he appreciated being understood without having to walk the person through it each step of the way.
Yes, that would be a welcome change for Aaron. I used to think I was the only person in the world who really knew him. Even Mother and Father. Oh, I'm sorry I'm babbling on, aren't I?
There's nothing wrong with that.
I don't see you doing it.
Actually, I am. For me.
It must be difficult.
One adjusts.
To?
Anything, given enough time.
Is that what happened to Aaron?
I suppose you could look at it that way, but I think you'd do him a disservice. I don't believe Aaron is the sort of man who changes his mind simply by being worn down.
He's not. Of course he's not.
You worry about him a great deal.
I'm his sister.
Many sisters don't give their brothers a second thought.
And I'm his friend.
Yes, you are. A better one than most people ever see. You worry that Aaron has betrayed himself.
No, of course not.
It doesn't make you a bad person to ask such questions, to explore such avenues of thought. Have you talked with him about it?
Of course not.
Why?
I'd never question.
Do you really think Aaron hasn't asked himself those questions? A man like him. If you love him, and I can see that you do, why not help him walk through that maze?
Have you talked to him about it?
Not directly, but we have skirted the subject enough for me to have a sense of the answer. But understanding Aaron is not my point.
What is?
You worry that he has lost his way. He came here to kill Edmund. It's all right. You don't need to be skittish about the matter. The truth is the truth, and there is no point in avoiding it. He came here to kill a man, and now, against all expectations, they're friends. Perhaps one might even say brothers. It is right and natural to ask how such a thing can come to pass.
I would never accuse.
Accuse freely. Just as long as you don't let your initial beliefs cloud your thinking.
A person can't know if their own thinking is errant.
They can if they adhere to reason. Let's lay out the facts as we know them. Aaron came here to kill Edmund. Why?
Because...
It's all right. Just say it.
Because
the Emperor is a terrible, cruel man.
I'm not saying...
But that is what you believed at the time. Is it not?
It is.
And then Aaron was captured and...
And?
What did he tell you happened after he was captured?
He said he was imprisoned.
And?
And that he had a great many discussions with the Emperor.
Interesting. All right. He was captured and imprisoned.
Is there more?
That is a question you should ask Aaron. For now, let's examine what we know. Aaron started out determined to put an end to a ruler that he perceived to be so bad as to warrant assassination. Rather than killing him, though, he was captured and imprisoned, and now, some years later, you are brought to the palace to discover that the assassin and his would-be target are practically brothers. Is this a fair assessment of the facts as we know them?
I suppose. Yes.
Then let's take some options off the table. Do you think it's possible that Aaron is simply pretending to be devoted to Edmund?
No. He truly respects and cares for him, I can see that.
So what does that leave? Option 1. Aaron has changed his core principles. No longer the man he was. What he once thought was bad, he now sees as good. Option 2. He's the same man, but perceives the world differently. In other words, what he once objected to no longer appears the same to him.
And do you think it's the latter that's happened?
Doesn't matter what I think. It only matters what you and Aaron think. In the early days of his imprisonment, Aaron believed that Edmund was trying to change him, twist his thinking, make him accept as right something he believed in his heart to be wrong.
And is that what happened?
You tell me. Have Aaron's principles changed?
I don't think so. He's still a compassionate man. When he's forced to make a decision that hurts people, it troubles him.
Then why does he do it?
In pursuit of the greater good.
And what does that leave? How could a man like Aaron, a good, compassionate man who wants what is best for the world, suddenly find himself friends with the emperor he came to kill?
It's just so hard to imagine.
That a man like Edmund might not be the heartless tyrant you thought.
Well, yes.
It's a cruel world, where not everything can be wonderful at the same time. But that's the one we've got. Deirdre, I'll tell you a secret about Edmund. He didn't climb to the top because he wanted something for himself. He did it because he wanted something for everyone else. Does that sound familiar? Becoming friends with Edmund was really the only choice Aaron ever had.
Was that? Would you care to share what insanity is going on in your head?
Well, watch them.
Watch them? Now you treat me like I'm the idiot. Really excellent idea. Never would have thought of it. Are you deliberately trying to destroy the Empire?
Max.
No, you see it. The looks on their faces, the way they're plotting.
They were not plotting. They were considering.
Altruism. Have you become as deluded as your chunk of pyrite and his naive sister? I've seen that look. You've seen that look 2 times. It's not idle consideration, it's scheming.
They see an opportunity, and they are trying to determine the optimal way to take advantage of it. They're not plotting against the Empire. They're trying to excel in the face of a changed game.
They're trying to find a way to circumvent you.
Ha! Let's hope for their sakes that you're wrong.
Hope for their sakes. What have you become?
Same, brother. Same man. Just new ideas.
New ideas, yes. Same man. I don't know about that.
He's the same.
You think you know him better than I?
Without a doubt.
I have a doubt.
You see him in how many ways? A brother, a ruler, a friend, a role model. But trust me, Max, I know him better.
Oh, you think because you're his lover.
Yes, because of just that.
The old Edmund would see the fallacy of this new approach. He pushes authority down too low.
He pushes responsibility, not authority.
I have no patience for word games, Belle.
Words matter.
Power matters.
Power is not a fixed asset.
You are so blind.
Max, Edmund is not relinquishing power. He's changing expectations.
Yes, I know the marketing. Everybody look 2 steps down. But it flies in the face of human nature. People will always do what's best for themselves.
He's counting on that.
He's ignoring it.
He's not. It's solid reasoning, Max. When what's best for you is to make the best for the people below you, you make the world a better place.
I can't believe that you can be so blind.
Edmund thinks it can work, and he conquered the world. Even if I didn't believe it, I believe in him.
What do you mean you believe in Aaron?
Aaron didn't devise this, Max. This is pure Edmund.
It started with the assassin, though. Surely you can't deny that.
No, of course not. Had it not been for Aaron, I'm sure things would have continued as they were.
Should have killed him 4 years ago. I could have, you know. I just made a command decision before the Emperor ever saw him. No one would have given it a second thought.
You made the right choice.
Every day that passes, I'm increasingly convinced that I did not.
What's done is done. Don't walk backwards into the future.
Why not? If you can't bear to watch.
Max, everything looks dark when you shut your eyes.
Well?
Your brother's been impatiently waiting the entire day to ask that one-word question.
That's no reason not to answer.
Actually...
Admit it. You had fun. Oh, come now. Not even a little?
The ride was pleasant.
You had fun.
Of course I did. I never let myself grow too important to climb a tree. But I think I would like to wash the sap off my arms before dinner.
Not a bad idea.
A moment. Walk with me, Aaron. I'd like to get your thoughts on the Coventry situation.
Not unless you admit...
Yes. I had a good time.
And that...
That it's nice to Get away from the palace occasionally. Yes, you knew.
And you?
And me what?
Edmund said that you used to go apple picking when you were boys.
We did. It's one of my favorite pastimes, actually.
Really? Edmund gave me the impression that it was, shall we say, not his fondest childhood memory.
Not for him, no. The very first time we went, he climbed into a tree with a hornet's nest, got stung 4 times, and twisted an ankle jumping away.
I'm surprised he ever went again.
He knew I liked it.
And now?
What do you want me to say?
Do you think he really had a good time today?
So it seemed.
And so?
Let it go, Belle.
I'm worried about you, Max.
Tell it to Edmund.
I have. He's worried about you too.
So he said. But it's not me you should be worried for.
Max, he's part of the family now.
He's poison. Should have killed him. I should kill him now.
I don't think the future is as dim as you say, but it doesn't matter. Even if you're right, and I don't think you are, what's done is done. Killing him is not going to bring yesterday back. Edmund will continue on whether Aaron is here or not.
You're right. You're right. Killing Aaron would accomplish nothing.
Honestly, if you can put aside your differences, I think you might actually like the man.
For the good of the Empire?
For the good of the Empire, of course, but also for yourself.
For the good of the Empire.
I think we need to change things up a bit. Chess, we need to change it up.
To what end?
It's like you said at council this morning. When the game is unwinnable, change the rules.
You're doing much better.
Then what? I haven't won a single game in 4 years. I used to think I was a fair player before I met you.
It's difficult to hone an edge against wool. Honestly though, Aaron, you are an excellent opponent. With fewer tells, you might even have a chance to win one day.
It's chess, not gambling, you know.
Everything's a gamble. Your goal needs to be reducing the uncertainty around you. When you know your opponent's strategy, the battle's half over.
And what if I have an unbeatable strategy?
No such thing. But you are thinking too narrowly. Knowing your opponent's strategy is just one step.
In
in estimating their state of mind. Once I know that, I can not only estimate what attacks they are likely to try, but which you are likely to miss. It's the overlooked attack that ends the game.
No wonder I never win.
Did you enjoy the match and learn something new?
Always.
Then we both won.
I suppose we did. But one of these times I'll spot a move that even you didn't see coming.
Indeed.
Once will be enough, just to see the look on your face.
Indeed.
But somehow I have a feeling it won't be this time. Another game?
What's wrong?
A matter has arisen. God, there's a body in the hall. Bring it in here. Brother.
Edmund? Edmund!
Get the surgeon! No! Out!
Where's
Out! You'll be all right.
Edmund.
You'll be all right.
Edmund, this is not the time to start lying to me.
You'll be all right.
Or to yourself.
Don't you give up, you son of a bitch!
Never. Never give up.
Can't leave. You've got things to do.
No. You have things to do.
No. You said you were going to kill me, remember? When you first opened your damned mouth all those years ago, you called me a bastard. You said you were going to kill me. Well, I'm not dead. And you're a man of your word, so you can't die yet.
I came to kill a man I didn't know. Maybe that was you then, but not you now.
No.
I love.
Your Majesty.
Yes, Mr. Hodges.
Well, the Guildmaster told me to bring this to you right away. He said that you wanted to see it the moment it was done.
Indeed. Well, let's have a look. Let's see how it shows.
Oi, looks very nice, Your Majesty. Is that a lamb?
Don't you have somewhere to be, soldier?
Yes, sire.
Lamb? Really, soldier? Any fool can see that it's a diamond.